I will not see exertion. Like that's just not a thing I even have to consider. But we are kind of curious, like, oh, in the course of a day, like a normal day, like which weapon in the hands of someone who's like both proficient and going hard at it, like not like what I'm dealing with now where I'm have to spend so much time moving around. Yeah. Yeah, no, it very well could be. Especially early on, just use the spears to absolutely go at it until you start getting close to moderate exertion, and then hop over to the short blade. Because once you hit moderate exertion, you're taking the damage penalty. At that point, you might as well just keep committing to using the spear if you're not going to recover. Yeah, and that's been my strategy. The one that I've suggested to people is, hey, you want to use your big heavy red axe? Cool. Get a feeling for about that time you start hitting moderate exertion. Switch to your short blade right before you hit it, or like as you hit it kind of thing, so that way you get back out of it. And then just lean on your short blade until you have a chance to like finish up what you're doing, get a good resting point, that kind of thing. Because I've seen all too often where people sit there, they'll go out with the axe, they'll hit moderate exertion, then they'll basically have to like run away from the zombies, and then rest for like 5-10 minutes, and then go back at it, kind of thing. It's like, but what if you never had to stop? I mean, honestly, with enough vitamins at our disposal, I could probably have the character fight for literal in-game week without sleep. And just completely go at it with the short blades the whole time. Because I'm not aware of anything that, like, if I had 100 things of vitamins, like, I'm not aware of a thing that makes it so you're not allowed to, like, stay up for 2 solid weeks or something. Like, I would be genuinely curious if someone was just to farm up like 200-300 containers of vitamin and just see how many weeks they can go without sleep in the game. If there's like some hidden thing that you just exhaust faster, fatigue faster, the longer you're awake or something. Yeah, I mean, or coffee or whatever. I just say vitamins because that's usually what I have handy. But yeah. The vitamins aren't like a strategic choice, it's almost always just what I have on hand. I do need to be better about actually keeping coffee around. Oh yeah, and I kind of use the same thing. It's just vitamins. Same idea. It's just I have to take them one by one, so it takes a minute. Oh yeah, you just sit there and just start shoveling vitamin after vitamin after vitamin. Alright, well let's get back into Rosewood again. And while I was trying to do my best to keep the bodies off the road, just as things progressed, it happens. Alright, we got this zombie hurt us. We'll deal with them. Yeah, clear skies. We're gonna have to have an intervention. Oh, because the body's in the road? I mean, there's a certain point you have enough bodies that you're just like, look, it's not a manageable thing. Like, we're just gonna deal. Oh, your vitamin habit? Hey man, I was told vitamins were good for you. In real life, you can absolutely OD on vitamins, FYI, just so people know. Vitamins are not the more you take, the better. No, you take them in the recommended dosage. That's why there are recommended dosages for all these things. When it says 1 a day or 2 a day or whatever, it means it. there is such thing as getting a lethal dosage of vitamin A. I mean, it's the classic. What's the difference between medicine and poison? Dosage. There's a reason it's an entire profession path to be able to sit there and, go to a person, figure out their weight, figure out, like, their family history, go into all that stuff, and be able to, like, narrow down how many milligrams of something they should get for it to be both effective but not dangerous. I might step away here in just a minute. Check to see what my wife wants to do dinner-wise. She may have already started, and if she hasn't, I may want to be like, hey, you, pizza or Chinese or something? I think she's already downstairs making it. So I'm going to take 2 seconds, I'm going to step away, and I'm going to check to see what she's up to real fast, figure out what my dinner plan is, and I will be right back. So if you haven't stood up, stretched, all that good stuff, now's a good time to do that, use the restroom, whatever, and I will be back in just a minute. Excellent. Chinese food is on the way. Music? Did you die? Oh no, it's just the quiet part. Okay. Yeah, it's just like we have these meal kits, and there's like the ones you can make super duper fast, but they tend to be stuff that like pretty soft texture, also, honestly, and they're good. I was like, you know what I want? I want something with real texture to it. Thank you for everyone who's been tuning in, who's been lurking, who's been chatting, who's been following, subscribing, doing the bits, the donos, the hosts, the raids, all that good stuff. It all helps, and I really do appreciate it. I do hope you are enjoying the stream. I'm just trying to get our foothold back in town. And we weren't actually in any real danger there, where we shoved that zombie. Like, that's the reason I usually run when I turn. The exact reason where that zombie didn't have a chance of grabbing us because we were running, so we just shoved them out of the way. My wife was like, oh, I have to go downstairs to get stuff to order things. It's terrible. Alright. I'll just manually set these because it seems to be hell-bent on putting the same things in more than once. I do wish by default it was smart enough to not put the same things. Like, it would try and differentiate unless you specifically told it otherwise. Like the full-on random, I'm like, I'd rather it have some intelligence to it. Just because, like, how many salads I have to make. Nope, we have been at it for a while. We put on a couple thousand zombie kills at this point. We did find, was it 2 katanas today already? So I believe we're up to 25 katanas now that we've seen so far. We already had a helicopter, like literally I started the game, we got halfway down the road, and it's like, oh, helicopter time. So that went well. We did fight a whole bunch. I did end up having to leave a bunch of zombies behind that time. But things went pretty well. I actually don't want to stop right here. There's too many trees too close. I do want to kill those zombies that saw us. Yeah, so like I said, our goal is there's a group of, I think it's something like 6 or 8 houses that got big wrought iron fences around them. Kind of on the west end of town. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've had worse. This is still nowhere near anywhere worse compared, whatever. Oh, you got your first machete today. Yeah, unfortunately, the very first one, you don't get the full experience because you lack the long blade skill to, like, really properly take advantage of it. But still, you start to appreciate it. But yeah, every single one you get, like, after that usually is moderately better than the previous one. Right, down had a hunting knife, we can actually get to it. Thank you.
Ah, my face!
Your face? Oh. I mean, it happens. What are you doing back there? We tend to be pretty silly, for the record. Which may come as a surprise to a lot of you with how chill I am, but we definitely get pretty silly and pretty weird. Home is where you can be weird. I mean, to be fair, also be weird in public. People get judgy about it, that's a them problem, not a me problem. Yeah, I wouldn't say I pull it up so much as I'm doing it anyways, and if it doesn't work out, well, that's, again, someone else's problem, but yeah. I get what you're saying, though. It's some people can do that kind of stuff, and, like, no one makes a big deal about it. I've had people give me looks and all that's like, hey, I'm having more fun than you, so who's the one who's losing? Yeah, I mean, so we've actually streamed Project Zomboid together at one point. Well, actually, a couple points. Like, she has the game, we have played together. Like, it kind of came up as a thing that I was like, oh, you know, when it's getting ready for multiplayer drop, I was like, oh, I don't think this is the kind of game she'd enjoy. Like, it's just not kind of the game she usually goes for. And she was like, I'd play it. It's like, all right. Like, that's good enough for me. So I picked it up for her. And she played a good 3, maybe 4 streams, something like that, where we were co-oping. But which she hasn't really wanted to do it again since, so I stopped bringing it up, kind of thing. Which is cool with hanging out. That part's fine, but she's got like shows she likes to watch and all that. And she'd rather do that kind of thing, which is fine. We all have our things we like to do for fun. Okay, so this honestly isn't as bad as it looks, because what'll end up happening is, because we've been going at this for a while, each day these zombie bodies will decay some, like we'll get rid of a bunch of them. And so over time what ends up happening is we'll actually get rid of like some of these bodies. They'll start to thin out more and more as we stop seeing less and less new bodies added to the pile kind of things. Or it seems like all the zombies are like homing in the moment I get nearby. I do have the radio in the car on absolutely full blast. That's deliberate to draw the zombies out. primarily to keep the zombies that are like inside the buildings from staying there. I want to get them to come out after us. Do I run faster decompose? Nope, decomposition is still the default 9 days. I do know a lot of people, usually not even like for preference reasons, but like computer performance reasons, will turn to be much faster, and I get it, like that's fine. It's not neither here nor there. It's not like, but that's not the correct settings or anything like that. It's just, I don't see a reason to mess with it. That's all. Like, I get why people mess with it. It makes sense. It's just never been that big a deal for me. Oh, Ghost, it says, turning on zombie decomposition nerfs tailoring XP. Yeah. That is true. Because you just can't get all the bodies in time. Alright, we got another horde down here. Alright, we're doing that thing where we close in from all sides out of nowhere at the same time. Drop that in the middle of the road so we can find it easy. It's so weird the way this happens. It's like, nothing, nothing, nothing. Horde from all sides. Yeah, it's gotta be like, when we see that, it's just the migration's triggering, so all the neighboring zombies are like, oh, empty space. Idiot. Could you not? I saw the next one up here. Excuse me. You're in the way. Okay, let me catch up. Alright. The zombie answer is "Rrrg" when you asked him to not. Yeah, I mean, they do that. Elgo says, time to turn my tiny land grab and March Ridge into a permanent foothold. Excellent. And Xandor says, I don't know if it's just my imagination, but Sometimes I could swear when you zoom in, the game spawns zombies around you. If you are max zoom, then they only appear at the edge of the screen. That's what I feel like when I get surrounded by zombies that I couldn't see before at max distance. I don't think it's anything like that. So what happens, if I'm not mistaken, the default in-game is every 12 in-game hours, it can trigger migration. And so when that happens, the zombies will, scatter to whatever logistics that happened as they move around. All that. So I think that's all that we're experiencing with a lot of this. And because this game wants this main area to be like high pop, this main road, I imagine it's drawing zombies from like all around saying, no, seriously, this is supposed to be high pop, get in there. That's mostly guesstimate how it works. We must be really close to drowsy if, like, every other attack I'm getting, like, right on the edge of moderate exertion. That tells me our stamina is not recovering that fast, which means we're close to being sleepy. Which it makes sense, we've been going at these zombies pretty solid all day. I almost messed that up in a big way, because I should be backing up, but I'm trying to recover stamina as much as possible. Xander says, I mean, you get 360 view, nothing around you, you zoom in, and like 4 seconds later, zombies behind you. It doesn't make sense within 4 seconds they came that close to you. Yeah, I think people underestimate, even when they're shambling, when the zombies are like moving with purpose, they can really hit some distance pretty fast. Like, you definitely had like the helicopter show up and just watch the sea of zombies close on you. Yeah, we're not gonna have the stamina for the machete. We're probably still right on the fence of moderate exertion. So I'm trying to just lean on the hunting knife, because as long as I don't go into Blair's tired. I really don't want to keep doing this where we're taking all these vitamins all the time. Because I'm burning through them way faster than we're finding them. Like, most time I only break them up with, like, helicopter events and that. But we keep pushing in, like, overextending ourselves, which caused me to have to deal with, like, forcing my way back in to recover our vehicle. That said, we're certainly making progress. We're killing an absolutely absurd number of zombies in here. Ma'am, give that back. What percentage? I have no idea. We have killed a lot, but without being able to know how many there are total, I couldn't even give you a guess. My assumption is he made a bunch of progress so far as count, but as far as geographically, not much. We've done like the main drag and like part of one of the neighborhoods, and that's it. But like, we cleared out and it fills up again, which means it's just all the neighboring area filling it back in. Didn't really want to go that close to that tree, but zombies weren't cooperating. I was like, okay, we just cleared it. I'll take my chance, which I shouldn't. But we did. You know, with as many meat cleavers as we had, maybe at the machetes, I'm going to break out the meat cleavers and just use them up for a while. How am I doing? We still queasy? Cool. Just watching that we don't push into nauseous. I do expect we'll have another horde of zombies sitting on our truck again. I'm just blasting the radio at max volume. Honestly, at the speed we're killing the zombies right now, we might get 10,000 zombies today. Because we already killed well into the like multiple thousands at this point, if my memory is correctly. Alright, I got push-ups to do. I'll get those in a moment. Okay, so let me see. What do we got here? There's a quality of life mod I saw. I think it is going to be a godsend for me. Makes it so any lootable container near you that has contents assigned to a new container, that way you don't have to sort through all of the bodies. Yeah, so there was, and I have it like not turned on or anything, like it's not running right now on this one. But I have grabbed the auto loot thing on the zombie corpses before. And for that one, it's like, okay, like it is doing a manual thing and making it less tedious. I'm like, this is on the edge of like feeling like I'm really kind of cheesing stuff. So I don't have it turned on, but I also don't blame anyone who turns it on, especially for stuff like finding vitamins, finding stuff like that in the bodies. It's more just tedious of going through all the bodies than actually the safety or anything of it. Cog said, I just figured out why there are so many zombies in Rosewood, especially when you go back the next day. It's because your wife is logging on and walking them all from the nearby towns while you were sleeping. I mean, I would be actually okay if she did that, because that means then when they cleared out the town finally, I would go everywhere and to be like, well, the zombies are gone. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get those push-ups, and I'll be right back. I am curious if we'll ever get to the point that it exceeds the cost of winning Twitch, but we'll see. I don't think it'll ever get that high. I think it'll always lag behind. But as people redeem points to increase the cost of winning Twitch, I imagine people will double the cost of this reward. You know, there'll be some algebra between the two of them. Okay, that's not as bad a horde. It's a decent-sized horde around our car. Yep. You spend your money on push-ups and gamba. I appreciate, like, that's... I was talking to Burning Sun before stream, I think it was yesterday, and I was like, okay, like, I added this, but, like, I'm partly afraid that everyone will stop, like, cashing in for the push-ups kind of thing. Because I do want to have you all redeem the push-ups. Because it is keeping me in shape, keeping me honest about it, that kind of thing. So I want that to continue. So if it does end up like everyone starts saving up for the winning Twitch thing, it's just too expensive or whatever, like just people aren't redeeming the push-ups anymore, I might like disable those prizes. I mean, point rewards, whatever, there's no prize. But you know. So far, like the last stream we did cap out. The stream I did Elden Rings did not cap out, but like there was... I mentioned on the Discord, it's actually, of all the streams I've done since affiliate, Elden Ring was the lowest viewership this channel has had for any game. Even Timberborn outperformed it. But I get it. A lot of the regulars were like, I don't want to spoil myself in this game, so I'm going to tune out. Fair enough. 100% understand. I would absolutely do the exact same thing in my shoes. Their shoes. Yeah, no, and I get that. For a lot of people, like, it is very counter to the normal type of content in there. So that is one of those things that, like, I kind of... I was talking to some of my buddies. I mentioned I played through all the Dark Souls with a couple of different friends. I was actually talking to them because they were talking about, like, what we all thought of them. And pretty much all of us, like, yeah, not actually a fan of it being open world. Like, it's not terrible or anything. But I actually feel like it's not as good being open world. Like, I like the other ones where it's like, okay, it's linear, but you get to choose between, like, 3 or 4 different linear paths in an area, if that makes any sense. Versus, like, open world, it feels like, okay, it's very easy to just find yourself roaming around and not sure what to do kind of thing. And that, it's like, a lot of times you feel like you're looking around but not really finding anything that you care about. Alright, we're drowsy. I don't think I'm going to take another thing of vitamins, though. We're just going to put up with it a little bit, because... we didn't have too many zombies at the car. So my hope is that we'll go back, just have to mop up like 2-3 more zombies, or like a small number of zombies to get our car back. Worst case, if there's more, I can do the whole thing where we yell at the zombies, you know, get them to follow us, do a lap, and then ditch them. Nope. I did not, because we had a ridiculous number of zombies show up. It's like, alright, priorities, survive, the axe, nope. Because I'm sitting on something like 20 or so of those fireman's axe, if not more, so I really don't care if I don't find it. I did dump it in the middle of the road somewhere, but I'm not too worried about if I don't find it again. And the plus, as these zombie bodies go away, the axe being like a very recent addition, shouldn't be hard to find. I also haven't been particularly trying to look for it, because like right now it's more, okay, we need to get back to our car and get back to the checkpoint. Yeah, no, and I deliberately dropped him somewhere in the middle, but you know, between getting pushed around by all the zombies and all that, we've lost track. It happens. Like, for something like a katana, I'd sit there and be like, alright, we're figuring this out, but a fireman's axe is very, very different on the scale of priorities versus a katana. I'll use the machete just to wrap up these last ones. Because it still does a pretty good job of one-shotting. I don't like that they're all huddled right there. Come on, zombies. I don't want to drive with you right there because you'll damage my vehicle. Stop it. Alright, let's get out of here. And then the reason very specifically I am choosing 10 miles an hour is the zombies move right around 5 miles per hour at the top speed without sprinters or anything on. So 10 means I am just flat out faster than them. Okay, we are at nauseous, so it is good that we're backing out anyways. So 10 means I am just moving faster than them, period. But also basically trying to go as slow as possible because of just how many zombie bodies we're dealing with. Because with this many zombie bodies, if I'm going at any meaningful speed, we're going to launch or roll or something. Like, we will have a bad time. Yeah, you can see I did try to keep this lane clear for as long as possible. But like I said, if I'm dealing with too many zombies to safely keep them to a lane, I'll sit there and just fight the zombies and not even, like, the bodies will go away in time. There's just like trail of bodies everywhere. I do love it. It's been a reoccurring thing that people hop into chats like, so how do you clean up your bodies? It's like, I don't. That's just, it's not a thing that happens. Like, people were surprised when I was playing multiplayer with Moon and Nirada and Jet and them, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna clean up these bodies. And, you know, people were like, what? He's picking up the bodies? Why are you picking up the bodies? Like, well, it's a mess. And it's like I didn't have something else I needed doing. Let's see. Cog says, I see a video of you rolling this truck on its side. Was it fake? No, absolutely. We rolled the truck on its side, and then all I did is I took the what is it? The station wagon. So what happens, I rolled the truck and I couldn't like just tip it back over. So I had to walk the entire way back to Ekron to get our spare vehicle. Drove it, which was the station wagon. That took like a full in-game day just to walk back to Ekron from Rosewood without a vehicle. So I took, you know, got the station wagon, drove all the way back down, hooked it up to tow, and in the action of hooking it up to tow, flipped the truck back onto its wheels. Because they were trying to like consolidate between the two of them. Oh yeah, it was 100% a walk of shame. And it was like, we arrived at like mid-morning the next day. Figured that zombie was gonna... Okay, I was about to say, like, I figured that zombie's gonna follow us. But yeah, so I 100% flipped in. We were only going like 15, 20 miles per hour. It wasn't like particularly fast. It's just, it was a very large pile of zombies. And I was starting to like kind of maneuver to like get around them. And so I was technically turning at the same time of going an okayish speed over a particularly large pile of zombies. And the truck just went, boop. Like, we didn't take an injury, the truck didn't take any meaningful damage or anything like that. It just kind of slipped onto its side. There were 4 bowls, a trowel, a crowbar in my gas station. Truly, I was meant to be here. Xander says, I grab them one by one and take them to my base and burn them. Just like oh, well, when I have a trailer, I take a trailer and I put all the corpses in the trailer one by one, and then I take them. Even with the trailer, I think you can carry like 4 or 5 corpses or something. Like, corpses are stupid heavy. And it makes sense. If our character weighs 82 kilograms, and we'll assume that, and we're in the healthy range, which in theory should be fairly average range or whatever, like a fairly normal person or whatever, then in theory we should be talking about how much that'll end up taking just for the sheer number of bodies. Like, each body would be that kind of weight. Oh. I didn't actually want my bowl to have water in it, but I guess we're here now, so I'm just gonna go like this. So we drink out of a bowl of water. It's fine. How are we doing on our food situation? I've got some broccoli, some rotten cabbage, a bunch of carrots, some potatoes. Yeah, we're doing fine. We got plenty. Oh, put these vitamins in here. I got a couple extra things we grabbed. Probably good to sleep.